Hey guys! Joey is delaying a few minutes because he decided to change the computer, go on his other one. So he's gonna join me in a few minutes. Meanwhile, just tell you guys that I'm excited. I personally didn't hear his voice yet, so it's gonna be the first time for me as well. And he has now figured out that the microphone is not working on his Macintosh, so that's why he is replacing the computer now, going to his other one. So that's why I had to delay a few minutes, but I decided I can just talk to you meanwhile until he's back. So until he's back, I can see a lot of new people join me today, so there are a few things I want to tell you before we start. First thing is, well, the things I want to say is basically what I put in the description of this video. Like, first thing is there is a 1 minute delay between reality and the live stream. So whenever you ask a question, it's gonna take like a minute until you hear the answer. And second thing is that when we have a lot of comments, it looks like spam. So when we have a lot of comments, it's gonna be hard to answer each and every one, obviously. So we won't be able to answer each comment, but if we missed your question and you didn't hear an answer within a few minutes, you can repeat your question a few minutes later. Okay? Because it's kinda hard to follow billion comments at the same time. So I hope you guys understand that and will forgive us if by any chance we miss your question. You can always repeat it a few minutes later. Okay, so another thing I want to say is, if on some computers the video gets stuck at some point, so if the video is stuck for you, you can just wait a moment and refresh it and it will fix the problem. Now, last thing I want to say is that I have a new computer and there is something wrong with my processor, so sometimes I have a blue screen in the middle of streaming. Hopefully this won't happen because I kind of lowered the quality of the stream to prevent that from happening, but in case I do disappear, all of a sudden the stream is stopping or something, or if my internet dies during the stream, you can just wait a few minutes and I'll be back. Okay? So if by some chance you will see a technical difficult notice, just wait a few minutes and I'll be back. Okay? So Joy is still setting up the other computer, so I know you can't hear Joey because he's not here yet. Give him a few minutes. And for the people asking why my tune is Fake Slate and not Slate, that's because I have another tune named Fake Slate, and that tune is just so I can play without friends. So if you look at my friends list, it's just Joey in here. Why? Because of my new computer, I'm kind of afraid of having a blue screen if I pressure the computer too much. So I just prefer playing without tunes around me, so that way Joey can come here and we can play without tunes around us. It's not because we don't want to play with you, it's because I'm afraid of a blue screen. So I'm not sure if we will go to the playground as well, because we'll probably be very busy with the questions, but anyway, that's the reason I play with Fake Slate and not the real Slate. So I think Joey is about to Yeah, I think he's here, so give him just a moment and he can come. Okay, so we're gonna test his microphone live, as it seems. So it is not sure yet if the microphone is working well or not, so we will have to check this live. Hopefully everything will be alright. So I'll just wait until he calls me. Meanwhile, guys, let's hope Joey does not sound like a creeper or something, because I honestly have no idea how he sounds like. It's gonna be the first time I hear him as well. So that's pretty cool, we're gonna hear him together. So, meanwhile, to your questions, why am I green? That's because if you follow the last update, oh, he's coming! If you follow the last tablet, it was something with slappy stand covered with goo. And whenever you touch it, you become green. So that's why I'm green. So he's here. So we will wait until he calls me or something. You sound nervous, Slate. No, I'm not nervous. I'm just excited. I'm not nervous because it's not my first stream, so it's okay. In the worst case, I'll just speak to you guys instead, but everything should be fine. So it's just setting things up now. Have you guys seriously never heard his voice? Yes, seriously, I never talked to him on a microphone, so I have no idea how he sounds like. Let's just hope it doesn't sound like a creeper, like I said. Okay, he said he's ready. Let's call him. Hey? I don't hear him. Hold on, guys. Okay, so his microphone is not working. Hold on, let him fix that. Is your accent Filipino? No, my accent is Israeli. Oh, you guys heard him on a Toontown live stream? That's cool. I didn't know there was a Toontown live stream. So, hey, I heard you.
That's cool.
Ooh, I barely hear you, but I hear you.
Someone asked how old I am. I'm turning 16 next month.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, I knew how old you are, but I didn't know you were having a birthday. So, do you have the comments open now?
Yeah. I'm not sure how far behind they are, but I'm reading through them.
The comments are live. They're just it takes a minute until they can hear your answer. So you can just read the answer before answering it.
Okay. Right now everyone's just spazzing out about my voice, so nothing to answer there.
Oh, too many comments. Can you even read them? when they're like that?
Sort of.
Okay, that's good.
Is my mic too loud or anything? I haven't tested this at all.
No, it's fine. If it's too loud, oh, they say really loud.
Really loud?
Okay, that's probably from my side, so I can lower it here. Hold on.
Okay. I'll try and lower it.
Okay, I did it. Are you here?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So it's gonna take like 1 minute until they can hear you normally.
Just here. One question from Xavier James says, will you take plot suggestions and implement them into the game? I mean, yeah, I guess. We already have the story worked out from right now to the very end of the game, wherever that may be. But, I mean, that we can always add things in the middle, and we like any kind of suggestions. I think a few of them, like from the current puzzles, have been community suggested.
Oh, my microphone is loud. Okay. Okay.
My last name starts with a Z. For Laura Gray, who asked that.
Okay, how about now, guys? Let me know if it's okay. Yeah, I get it, guys. I was too loud. I fixed it, hopefully.
Dylan DeBakir, sorry, he says, is beta going to happen after the election? And, I mean, eventually after the election. Of course, beta comes after the election. Mike John says, will we allow people to change the color of their gloves? And I said no, just because I don't really like glove colors. I mean, they were cool as a gimmick, but they just look too tacky. Accessories are bad enough.
Okay, still loud. I'm lowering it again. There. Hopefully it's fine now.
The EV says, will Toontown Rewritten beta be shorter than alpha? And I mean, I can't really say, but most likely yes. I mean, there's not as much ground we have to cover with beta. It's mainly setting up the production servers, getting rid of all of the bugs, just making sure that's okay to release to the entire public. And I'm not sure when Toontown Rewritten will be released. But we have some internal dates, but even those aren't set in stone. The beta keys are Levy Rivali wants me to confirm how the beta keys will be given out, and I mean, I can't really say yet because we just don't know. I can say that by the end of beta we'll have anywhere between 1,000 and 10,000 tunes playing. It just depends on how much we need. When beta first starts, I think we're going to have somewhere around 1,000 tunes. So that's 700 keys as soon as alpha ends. But I'm still not sure how they'll be given out. Probably through contests and giveaways again, since those seem to be the most fun and fair. Danix Z wants to know if we'll have new gags, and I don't think so. The gags are actually really balanced as is. I mean, I've never had any problem with them. Some people complain that sound is a little bit overpowered, and if it is, it's only by a really tiny bit. Tiger TRB says basically the same thing about new gags, but he also adds on new ways to battle. And that's the thing to think about. Like, we don't necessarily need to add on to the standard street battles, but I am interested in different ways for tunes to counter the cogs. Like the field offices, how we had water balloons to fight the mover and shakers. Or in the legal eagle ones, I forget what they used to counteract the eagles, but it was cool how they had the little flying jetpack. So I think the core gag system won't be changed at all, but in future content we may see some new ways to fight the cogs different from the standard gags. Pierre Quinn asked if I voted for Flippy or Slappy, and I voted for Flippy. Mike Johns, again, wants to know if we're going to do anything to improve gardening. And I want to improve gardening, but I'm still not really sure on how we could. I mean, it's obviously pretty boring, but I mean, I know there was a garden drop game that Disney originally had. It seemed to be that you would play a mini game when you're planting your flowers, but it would take too long to have a mini game just to plant one flower, even longer than that terrible watering animation. So I would like to make gardening and everything about states better, but I'm just not sure how yet. Leafy Forest wants to know, what about the chairman? And the chairman, I mean, it's not like there'll be a big battle with him, like, anytime soon, but he does play a part in Toontown Rewritten's storyline, as we'll see later on. I mean, that's a given, since for the cogs to be, there has to be a chairman. And Wilson is a super cutie, wants to know if all Alpha Tunes will have access to beta, and yes, they will. If you already have access to Toontown Rewritten, you have it from now until when we release. That is, like, assuming you don't get banned for whatever reason. And I think there's only been 5 bans on Alpha, something like that, which isn't too bad. Be better if it was 0. Anwar BRLSKI wants to know if we're worried about funding, and not really. It's all just kind of coming out of our own pocket right now. It's not too expensive to maintain. Disney actually did a really good job on Toontown servers originally because they wanted it to be low cost to run. And, I mean, you know, it was made back in 2003. It was supposed to be able to run on like 1998 machines for both clients and servers. So they did a pretty good job on that, and it doesn't cost too much to keep servers up. Tyler Squirrel wants to know who is the chairman and what role was he playing in the storyline. In the original Toontown intro with Scrooge McDuck and Gyro Gearloose, the cog that he activated at least in Toontown Rewritten's storyline, is considered the chairman. I mean, I can't really answer anything than that.
You don't have to read their names if that's too hard. You can just read the question.
Alright. Jukebox wants to know if I've read My Immortal. It's a great piece of fiction and critically acclaimed literature. I haven't read it. I'll have to look it up. Are you guys allowed to add features? Maybe we can have clans or parties, clan chats, friend chats, group chats. For the first part, yeah, we are allowed to add features, and we've already added some, like the screenshot page, the elections, of course, if that's considered a feature. For group chats, it could be cool, because I know that the original Toontown, like you pressed Alt-Enter, I think, then you could communicate with all your true friends in the area. So it could be kind of like that. I can see it working, but there's no plans for it right now. And there aren't any plans to make clans like a main part of Toontown. I'd rather leave clans up to be organized by the players than have some sort of main system for it. And Slate, feel free to ask and answer questions too. I don't want to be the only one talking.
No, it's okay. I don't mind. Do you have an hard time finding the questions, or is it okay?
It's going pretty fast, but I can see them alright. You might want to ask it more than once, since, there's a big stream and I'm just scrolling through them. MacToon wants to know if Disney's been in contact with you, and no. We have talked to Jesse Shell. Not about anything in particular, just, email conversations. But, nothing bigger than that. Disney's, Jesse's just talked to us about the game in general, not anything behind the scenes, and none of Disney's Wallbots have contacted us, so basically, no. You're welcome, Cool Rainbow, for answering your question. Hamza Ayas wants to know if the election will be attempted this weekend. Sure, if we can get it this weekend, we will, but I can't make any promises on when the actual date will be. We're going to make it as soon as we can, but I can't guarantee if that will be this weekend, next weekend, 3 months from now. It won't be 3 months from now, but we just have to get our servers together. When the game is released and the election's over, will there be any way for people without keys to see the election props? I'm not too sure, because normally no, because when the election's over, that's that with those props. But I really like the character that we can put into Flippy and Slappy's booth. They're their own little characters in themselves. Originally they were just standard booths, they had a sign nailed to them, they had some pies lying next to them, or jelly beans. But Catherine, or cool Captain Sandy, our concept artist, like went back and redid them to design them with the hands and all of the rounded parts of them and everything. And so with that, we decided that the stand should be animated and like kind of join in with the competition. I know our animator Roger Dog, one thing he really wanted to do that we ended up not having time for is throughout the week we would add animations for the stands. And so one of them was like Flippy's stand pulls out a phone and dials on it, like a Clarabelle's catalog sort of phone, dials on it and calls Slappy's stand. So Slappy's stand, which is directly across from him, pulls out his phone and answers it. And, they both look like they're having a normal conversation. And then Flippy's phone, he takes his hand and shoves a pie through the phone, which then comes out over on Slappy's side. So it would be really neat to see that, but it just proved to be too much work to implement in such a short time. But we still might see some more animations before the election period, since we've had so much time to get our servers together. Nick Melberger wants to know why we didn't transfer old tunes over to Toontown Rewritten, and that's because, well, a few things. The main thing is just the technical side of it. It's basically impossible. When we first started Toontown Rewritten, it was before the game actually closed, so we considered having people use some sort of snapshot to grab their tune's DNA and their laugh points and everything. It would be like kind of like a photo ID of your tune that you could give to Toontown Rewritten, and we would restore your tune. But we didn't want people interfering with the game in its last month, because it would require an external program and everything. And we also thought that it would be better to get a fresh start, because we might change the tasking system, the amount of laugh points you can have, all of that. Like, Toontown Rewritten is going to be different in the way that you might not progress in exactly the same way you did before. Tasks might be different and everything. They aren't going to be drastically different. Newbie DBL wants to know if there will be special abilities to certain accessories. And I mean, it's sort of cool to think about if like a jetpack could actually make you fly, but I don't think so. It would be too weird, unless you mean something like a propeller hat spins around, or the jetpack occasionally gives like a puff of smoke or something. That could be interesting, but not like tunes aren't going to be able to fly around with them. Wizrobe7 wants to know if we're going to take out Disney characters, and I can't answer that for certain yet. It's a popular topic in our chats, because half of the dev team wants to remove them and the other half doesn't. I think the overall consensus will be to remove them, but not entirely. Like with the elections, we've been talking about Mayor Mickey, because in storyline, it's been said by Disney that Mickey is the mayor of Toontown, and he was the one who appointed Flippy to run for the election. So, they'll be in the story in that sense, that they're present, but I don't think we're going to have them actually walking around in the playgrounds. Like, you'll still see Mickey's face on the tunnel, but you won't see Mickey himself. I think that's the route that we're going to take with it, but there's a lot of things that can change before now and release. We'll see what happens with that during beta. And also, Scrooge McDuck and Gyro Gearloose are both key characters to the storyline, but they're also Disney characters, so we can't really remove them unless
we decide that we absolutely have to. Do we have any plans on the COG storyline post BossBot headquarters? And yes, we do. If all goes well, then like I said, we have a storyline planned out from the beginning that we're seeing right now all the way to, say, like 5 years in the future if we decided to. And I'm not sure if you'll ever actually see the end of the storyline, because there's a lot of things that can happen. You know, if Disney took us down, and which I don't think they will, but that's a different topic. But if we were to end the game from lack of funding, which is another improbable thing, or just lack of players, like if there wasn't a demand for new content. So there is a storyline planned out, right? And we want you to see it, but it's so involved and so long for some parts that, like you said, some of it may never be revealed. But trust me, all parts of it are good. The EV7 asks again, if we're implementing fan lore, are we going to be implementing cognition as well? And I wouldn't call the storyline fan lore. I mean, I guess in the sense that I wrote it and I'm a fan. But, I mean, we haven't necessarily been taking too many community suggestions for it yet. But cognition, I can say that it is a real place in the storyline, but I can't say if you'll ever actually go there or anything, because I don't want to promise any new content just because we may never get to it. But in my own headcanon, cognition does exist, and is like where the cogs have all of their skyscrapers and everything before they move to the headquarters. And we can guess that just from Disney said that cognition exists before, and what was I going to say after that? The CashBot headquarter crates have cognition on them. So we've always assumed that cognition exists. Nothing really has changed from that. Nicholas Johnson wants to know if we removed the Python injector, and yeah, that was actually in the first update. Right now, there's no current way to hack Toontown Rewritten through Python injection and everything. There are some silly things that still work with Cheat Engine just because those are things that we get to during beta. And alpha testers, that isn't an invitation to use Cheat Engine. Don't do that. Will you guys bring back the old Toontown stuff? Toontown Pretty Candy asked. And I know that the community really likes the old Toontown Central and the merry-go-round and everything, but those things were removed for a reason. And everything, like no matter what you deal with, there's always going to be people say that the old version's better. Like whatever was changed is bad, whether it's bad or not. I mean, the old Toontown Central, it was pretty bad. I mean, it was just a circle. We had the little, what's it called in the middle? The gazebo. Toon Hall and all the other buildings were just lined up in circles. It didn't look that good, honestly. So, no, I'm not going to fix anything that isn't broken, or re-add broken stuff. When will we give out the 100 beta keys that we talked about? That will be whenever we do the beta key giveaways, the contest and everything that we talked about earlier. Whenever those go out, one of the days will be dedicated to choosing all of the YouTubers who were watching that stream for the election the other day and picking out randomly 100 of them. I know it would be most fair to give all 1,000 of them keys, but we obviously can't do that. Will Toontown Rewritten add the unreleased clothing or allow girls to wear striped shirts and other gender restricted things? That seems fine to me. I mean, I don't think there's anything gender inappropriate about stripes. So, I mean, it's not anything we planned, but if it comes up, then sure, why not? We're not gonna let guys wear skirts, though. Don't do that. When we release bosses, are we going to fix the golfing of the CEO? And yeah. I mean, if it's a bug that is worth fixing, we'll fix it. I'm honestly not sure what the golf balls were even supposed to do. Like, slow them down or something? I never used them. So it would be nice to make them do some sort of damage. Whether it be slowing down or actual, like, -1 damage. My thoughts on Toontown House. Originally I thought pretty highly of them. Like, when people ask about it, I'd say, like, yeah, they're pretty buggy from the screenshots, but they're more brave than we are by redeveloping the entire game rather than kind of piggybacking off of Disney's code. But, I mean, I know there's been a lot of drama there, and apparently a lot of the developers aren't too fond of Toontown Rewritten for some reason. So, I mean, I don't really pay attention to any of the community drama, but I think that, you know, like I said, they're more brave than we are for going and making their own game rather than, you know, kind of cheating in a sense and using the already existing code. So, Toontown Rewritten, people say, is better, but I don't think you can really compare Toontown Rewritten and Toontown House because they're two entirely different things. One's being written from scratch, and one's just using the old code. It's just two games that use the same sets. Nothing similar other than that. Are we going to add new types of cogs or new cog factions? I don't think so. I think Disney pretty much covered all of the types of people in a corporate area. And there could be new cog bosses in the future. I mean, far future. But I don't think that we're going to add, like, I don't know, market bots or anything. Someone asked my thoughts on, what was his name? DJYC21215. I didn't know who he was. I just copied and pasted his name real quickly. And I see he's a greener, it looks like. I'm assuming that's by the comments. And I didn't know of him, so he's a greener. That's pretty bad. He has a long name that I couldn't say. I don't like that either. Lots of numbers in it. I guess that's sort of hypocritical, coming from Joey 1998 too. But no, I've never heard of him, so nothing to say there. Is there any backstory to Slappy and Flippy, and are we going to allow DLC? Yeah, there's backstory to Slappy and Flippy that we've already given. And Flippy, he had the PhD in loony literature. That's why he always talks with his adjectives like wonderful wackiness, like how Disney would always say in their blog posts. Like it was overly childish in a sense. So, but instead of just dismissing that, we decided to give Flippy a PhD in literature, like a Toon's literature, which is why he always has all those adjectives and everything. And if you look at between Slappy's and Flippy's post, you can see the difference between them. That one has a different writing style than the other. I mean, there is backstory, but not a whole lot that you don't already know. LP Fun Guy wants to know about nostalgia mode. I can't say much about it just because we don't have it yet, but I mean, I do want to give Toontown Rewritten a whole big revamp. Like, the game's from 2003, and yeah, it's fun, but a lot of things could be updated and made a lot better with not too much effort. I mean, compared to like years of work. Like one of Slate's jobs has been to upscale the textures. I think she's done the Toontown Central Streets among other things so far. And so that it will be like, I want to have the game looking better, but I don't want to take away the game from the people who already like it. So we could have, it would be like fully customizable, hopefully. So if you want it to be exactly how it is right now, you just turn all of the nostalgia stuff on. But say if you want the new textures but not the new models, then you can turn textures on, models off, or maybe models on, textures off. That may be a little bit harder, but even more so, a better example of that is music. If you want the old MIDI music, or if you want kind of like restored versions of the music that have higher quality and everything. So nostalgia mode is going to be available, but my goal is to make it good enough that you won't want to use it. Because if people think that the art style has changed too much from the original game, then it means that we need to change it more in the other direction to make it back to how it used to be. But seeing the textures so far, I don't think that we'll have that problem. They're essentially the same that you've already seen, just made to look better, HD and everything. Hi, Harv. He just told me in our developer chat that he didn't know that we were streaming together. Will the closed BossBot headquarters entrance in Chippendales be used for anything? Yeah, it'll be used for BossBot headquarters. Slate, you're in my jumping area. And right now, there's not a tunnel there just because BossBot headquarters isn't available. It's the Great Mystery Tunnel. Takes you anywhere in Toontown, as long as that anywhere is Acorn Acres. Tiramisu K wants to know if there's any way that you can donate or help Toontown Rewritten. We can't accept donations or any form of payment from both Pride and like the legal issues with it. Right now, it's essentially all out of pocket. Toonbook does help with their donations by assisting it, like Toonbook has servers that they contribute to Toontown Rewritten. But no, we can't accept any money from you, nor do we want to. We're just volunteers for this. But you can help Toontown Rewritten just by supporting us, by following the updates, telling your friends about it. That sort of thing. Be involved in the community. WeFan66 wants to know if the server will be more stable and less laggy. And yeah, I mean, for alpha, our server setup is nowhere near where it's going to be for the production or the public release. It's just a temporary server, so us 300 testers can come on here and test the game without having to worry about any, districts and if they're full or not, if they're laggy, that sort of thing. When we move into beta, that will be when we test our real server setup. Cyndaquil707 wants to know if there's any interest in Wallbot field offices. And yeah, I mean, believe it or not, the code is actually in the game already, the client at least. I'm not sure why Disney never added them. And when I was talking to Jesse Schell about it, he didn't know either. I mean, he obviously developed them. But, he isn't on the inside at Disney anymore. He runs his own company. He just helped. He was contracted to do field offices. But when we get to it, if we try out field offices and they're actually pretty fun, then yeah, we'll add them. I personally didn't like the Cellbot ones. The mover and shaker part in the beginning was fun, but after that it was just a disappointment and a gimmick. Oh boy, here comes McQuack. And he logged out. TTS BB1 wants to know what exactly happens in the election. And, well, obviously, either Flippy or Slappy will be elected. Alec Tin will be there. He'll pull the grand electoral lever, and those little things on the stage will spin around and announce the vote. And there are some new gameplay things involved afterwards, like an after-party sort of thing that Alec is planning. But I can't really talk about more than that because it's going to be a big surprise to off the testers. And of course the streamers too. We're hoping it'll be an interactive sort of thing that both of them can enjoy it. Will PvP be implemented? Maybe. It's not anything planned. I mean, I say that about everything because we just have so many ideas that obviously we can't do all of them. And you guys have even more ideas than we do. When talking to Jesse just about Toontown in general, he did mention that at one point he thought it would be cool to do PvP, but they never got around to it. And don't go bugging Jesse, like asking him questions about it, or this, or Toontown Rewritten, because he's obviously busy. It's just around Christmas I was talking to him, just having a general conversation about game development and everything. So don't bug him about Toontown Rewritten. He probably doesn't want to hear it. Why did you create Toontown Rewritten? Well, I mean, kind of like the game and everything, so that was a good place to start from. And then the game closed, so that was another good place. And, just kind of happened. So I didn't create it for any specific reason other than Toontown closed, and a lot of people don't want it to, including myself. what were the Lawbot field office rewards? I'm not sure actually. Let me just open it up quickly and see if there's anything obvious about it. But from what I remember, I don't remember seeing anything special. Give me a second here. I mean, I obviously can't play it. I'm just looking at the existing code that was in the client. It looks like the main gameplay was revolving around legal eagles. I mean, as you saw, if you saw that video from Shell Games, that, there's the big filing cabinets stacked up like above clouds, and the legal eagles are flying around, and they would attack tunes as you fly by with your little propeller jetpack sort of thing. And so it looks like you can lose the blade of your jetpack, and I guess there would be a pickup somewhere to get a new blade, or you would lose life points if you fell. Just looking through it, I'm not seeing anything in particular about the reward for it. I'd have to look back later on, but right now I don't see anything. It could be the same as Sellbot field offices, how they have the tune cage at the end of it. Just reading through some of the questions I missed. Mike Jones wants to know if there will be any sotropic, I think you had a typo there, or anti-aliasing. Yeah, if we did do shaders and everything, like real shadows instead of these little circles under us, then I think it would be cool. Bump maps, a real sun, shadows and everything, lens flares galore. We'll essentially turn Toontown into Battlefield 4. No, we aren't actually going to do that, but yeah, shaders could be cool if we did them right. They would have to still keep the game's current look, just make it a tiny bit better than circles on the ground. That's better. Will there be tasks for offices? Field offices? Yeah, sure. I was kind of annoyed that Disney never put tasks into the field offices. It made them even more pointless. So yeah, I think it would be cool. They'd still need a revamp first, though, at making their reward something not useless. I know they were trying to prepare people for the VP, but it could be a lot better. There was some sort of sprocket thing they talked about originally. A silver sprocket award or something. I don't think there's any references to that still, but I'm interested to see what they would have done with that. Sorry, back. Just kind of sip of water. Will there be an invasion district like Nutty River? I hope not. I don't want everyone to pile into one district. I'd rather have it be spread evenly. To help with that, I do want to bring back the random invasions so they aren't just from the CJ anymore. So, like there could be a funky invasion in Inkwell Oasis, and it wouldn't be called by a tune. And while we're into that, for invasion trackers, I think it would be cool that they're a needed part of Toontown. They became a needed part anyway in the later part of the game. So I don't think we're going to disallow them, but I think we would make it sort of from a story standpoint. So invasions that are summoned by tunes, you know where they are and you know how long they last and everything because a tune summoned it. And that makes sense, if all of the tunes kept track of who has which invasions, and they told each other when there's going to be invasion somewhere, so that tunes don't get stuck there or go sad or anything. But if it's a random invasion, which is assumingly called by the cogs themselves, then those you wouldn't know about, because you don't know the cogs' plans. So if we did like an official invasion tracker, that's how it would work. It would be only tune summoned invasions. Oh, sorry, Tabitha. Tabitha. Sorry, I misunderstood your question. The under construction tunnel at Court Acres, we removed that entirely right now because we don't have any plans for it. We don't want to leave it there to taunt you or anything. If we ever have plans for it, then we'll add it back, but I don't know what could go in Acorn Acres. I guess Doodle Park or something. I don't know how to say your name, I'm sorry, but you ask, can we give our own ideas to TTR, and if so, where? The best place for that is probably MMO Central Forums. There's a section there that you can suggest stuff or ask questions. And I do read those, most of them, so that would be the best place.
The selfie killed my game. It just... Sorry guys, I had a blue screen. I knew I should stay on my estate and do nothing, so just give me a minute to call him back. Hey, are you here?
Yeah.
Sorry, I just had a blue screen for a moment.
No worries.
The selfie killed me.
Is it streaming again now?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Is it streaming again?
Yeah, it is. Oh, sorry.
Alright, sorry. Just true friending Muddy Paws in the Quack. I mean, we don't have true friends. Never mind. Okay, do we have any plans on changing the pet system, introducing new pets, or make training better? Probably not. I like beetles. Just waiting for some more questions. I'll be right back in just a second.
Okay, by the time he gets back, I'm just relogging into the game. Sorry guys, I just had a blue screen. See, that's why I'm going on my estate. Sorry for rejecting that guy. I'm just not adding any tunes that are not staff members into this friend list. But he is already my friend on my other tune, on my main tune, so that's fine. Yeah, I don't talk much today because this is probably your only chance to talk to Joey on the near future, so I think it's better to let you guys hear him, but he said he will be right back, so you guys got me for now. Game crashed again! What's wrong with this game? Well, it's not a game, it's mainly my computer. But, let me try again. There is something really wrong with my CPU, so I'm gonna see if I can do something about it tomorrow. Not that I didn't try to, but everything I try doesn't work, so I think the processor is gone or something. Oh, I think he's back.
Yeah, I am.
Hey.
I think I can hear myself through yours, though. Yeah, it's repeating a little bit.
Oh. Is it because of me?
Yeah. I think it's good now.
Okay.
Spike Poodle Snooker says, how did I know the rest of the TTR team prior to joining? Honestly, most of us were hackers. I mean, not like the kind that you would see in Toon Valley, spamming bots or doing animations or anything, but, Gashi, for example, ran a site that we were all, pretty much all of us were on. We all knew each other from that site. But we hadn't really talked to each other since 2010. Because, once the hackers became a big problem, we all quit. Because it was no longer fun to challenge ourselves or anything if anyone was doing it just for attention. Honestly, I was never too big in it anyway, but I was still friends with all of them. McQuack, for example, I think I knew then. Kashi, as I mentioned, Too Many Secrets, missing a lot, but there's probably, I want to say, 6 team members that I didn't know before joining Toontown Rewritten, and everyone else of the 20-ish team members I know. If there will be no popular district, are you planning on adding a looking for group for clock headquarters? Maybe. I mean, I can see that being implemented into the boarding group system. In a way, boarding groups are better than just jumping into the elevator, but something about them doesn't seem as fun to me. So I don't know if there could be anything done better there. There's always like the Mr. Hollywoods that team up against you. I suppose they did that anyway, but oh well. I hope that every district will have people going to headquarters in, rather than just one popular one. I'm not sure if that will actually happen or not, but I'm going to try and make that happen. Will we remove the fire hydrants? No. We might make them more useful at some point. But no, I don't want to remove them. I like the idea. It was implemented badly because it would be a lot better if you could actually control the silly meter instead of it being a scripted thing. But yeah, the hydrants themselves are pretty cool. Rory Hadcock wants to know why there are so many crashes. I mean, honestly, I don't think there are. With the election, yeah, but...
Sorry guys, that's my computer. It's not a game. It's just my computer.
But with the election, there were crashes, obviously, but other than that, I don't think that there's anything big going on. Parties had some crashes their first day. I mean, there's so many crashes because it's alpha. But even then, for an alpha, I don't think that we're that bad. Most of them have been fixed by now. Will you be able to swear with true friends? No. The rules will be essentially the same as Disney's. We'll try to do them in a bit more sane way. With no offense to Disney, but I mean, because they had all of their games to moderate, and obviously their moderators were, just they're paid to be there. They're there because it's their job, not because they necessarily want to do it in some cases. That's my assumption. But so, hopefully, we'll do a better job at moderating. Because, I mean, they did do a good job, it's just some things got through. And it took them a while to ban it. We do want to add something to replace the whitelist, just because we find the whitelist pointless. I would like more of a smart whitelist that can detect, like if, let me think of something, if, berry was a banned word or something, and you say strawberry, but with berry in all capital letters, then it would know that that's a word that's supposed to be banned. You separate it into different banned. Are we going to accept Steam donations, like games and items? No, not as like a payment for Toontown Rewritten or anything. If you want to send me a Steam game, then feel free, but don't do it for Toontown Rewritten. Will numbers be added to chat? Yes, they already have been. Of course, they aren't strictly moderated since it's still an alpha. Yeah, Slate's saying some numbers now. But we'll be able to detect if you're just saying the number of something, or if you're saying like a phone number or whatever. That's into the smart filter again. Don't worry, we'll make sure that it gets fixed up. Will mic features be added? No. No, stay chat-based. Emotion-based, if you want to use animations. No, I haven't seen before, like a mime tune. Like, if someone communicated with people only through animations. Kind of like, if you're playing Team Fortress 2 and there's that heavy that'll just go around with a sandwich saying, like, help to people. Like that. That'd be neat. Probably aren't enough animations to do that. That might be my next goal. Will there be any limit of how many people can be on at the same time? Hang on, let me get this selfie with Slate. Not quite. Hang on. Sir Max, look at the screen. Let me get one more just in case. Make that 2. Here, let me see if that one came out good. That one came out fairly good. I'll send it to you if you want to show it on the stream. Give me a minute. Yeah, it's McQuack. Okay, I sent the image in Skype. What is the biggest obstacle that we're facing right now, and how are we addressing it? I'd say the server problems that we're having, because we can't really continue with the election until those are fixed. So those are definitely one of the biggest problems. And another problem is just that we're tired. We've been working at this for 6 months. And, you know, like, restoring someone else's work isn't all that fun, honestly. It's better to, like, it's more fun for us to create our own stuff, at least to me. Like, I've had a lot of fun creating the election. It's a break before going on to the newer, or I guess older things. And once we're released to the public, we will be able to do content all the time. That'll be cool. And not all the time. We'll have breaks. Or are you adding new species for toons? Maybe. Nothing planned right now, but no, I'm picking chicken. Will there be any new content or updates before the election? No. It's not going to be delayed for that long. I don't want to say anything because I hate making promises that we can't keep. But it won't take long. Once we get the server issues straightened out, we'll release the election, and that's that. There might be a few bug fixes before then. Nothing big. Will we develop a mobile site? Yeah, I've always wanted to, it's been my plan from the beginning to do a mobile site. I'm like, oh, I'll do it next week, or, oh, I'll do it next month. And at this point, I haven't done it because with beta, we're actually planning on making a new website, or at least, halfway through beta or the public release. So, it'll be a lot more involved than the current one. The current one was never really meant to be permanent anyway, it's just the alpha site. So with the new website, we'll have a mobile version. Don't worry. I get annoyed by that too. Sometimes I want to go to write the posts in advance, but nope, can't do that because the big sign's in the way. Kelly One Elvis wants to know if I'm the creator of Toontown Rewritten. I wouldn't call myself the creator, but my official title that I go by is the team lead, just because I'm the one who organizes the updates and everything. But hang on, Harv wants me to do something. Anyway, so on our team, there isn't really anyone who's higher than someone else. We tried to keep it everyone's equal. Everyone and we're all volunteers, so it's not like we fire anyone or hire anyone. It's just we ask people to join our team if they want to. Right now, we're not accepting anyone new just because we don't need anyone right now. But like I said, there's no one's higher than anyone else. We just do whatever we can to help. I do know the Muffin Man who lives on Drury Lane. Will there be any new playgrounds in the future? Like I said, I don't like promising new content, but I have ideas for it. There's a difference between an idea and something's actually going to happen. Like Slappy talked about the black and white playground from his campaign. That's one of the things that could happen, if Slappy were elected and everything. No promises, but I would like to add new neighborhoods. Not Chip and Dale like neighborhoods either, but with new tasks and storyline. A big area. No, we won't add black for toon color. As close as you'll get for black or white toons are black cats and polar bears. We don't need any more than that. Those are called colors. Do I enjoy making Toontown Rewritten? Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's taken away my free time for 6 months, but it is... if you played the game, actually owning the game has always been a dream of yours, probably. And it's pretty cool to see that, but it's also very stressful. So it has ups and downs, but overall, I'm happy to be on the team. Yeah, polar bears will only be on Christmas. However, the first week that we release the game, we will make polar bears and black cats available, just as a greeting to everyone, for those who weren't able to. No, I don't want tails on tombs. They're kind of, yeah. Like I said earlier with the music, like you guys keep bringing up the uncompressed music. It wouldn't be uncompressed, but kind of overall new. I mean, it'll be the same tune and everything, but like with nostalgia mode, one of the options would be for new music, and you can switch that to either the old low quality MIDI music or the higher quality sounding music. It's not necessarily uncompressed, but it'll be something along those lines. It'll sound just as good as you guys think the uncompressed music does. Will Sora's clothes be implemented into TTR? I don't think so, because, I mean, no offense to Slate, but I don't think they fit with the game's art style. I mean, they do look really good, but they don't exactly fit with the theme of the universe. Not to mention, we don't want Disney getting on us about another copyright thing. Street objects, but the campaign stands, I think that they have a lot of potential in them, so we could see them used in other places in the future. Say that we're taking a 6-month break. No, that wasn't true. We've been working for 6 months. That might have been misunderstood now.
Did it change something because you became a bit like it?
I think it's the call quality. Like one of our internets is being bad. Okay. Is it better now?
Yeah. I minimized the game by mistake and then it crashed because there is that lag whenever I minimize.
Jack probably wants to know why I like saying "heyo" so much, and I'm not sure. I like saying hiya, heyo, and heya. I don't know, it just seems like a good greeting. It's better than just hey, or hi, hello. I should work on that. I do say that a lot, don't I? What kind of names do we reject? Inappropriate names, obviously, but it also depends on, like, we can't accept copyrighted names as Disney did. It's essentially the same as Disney's rules, but like I said on that LMO Central Forums post, we don't really have like a guide for moderation currently. It's just whatever you think personally, like you being the team members, think should be accepted or not. And in the future, we will be more standard with that. It's just for alpha. No, it doesn't matter. It's alpha. Yeah, Toontown Rewritten will work in the United Kingdom and other countries. You don't have to be in the US to play it. And we are actually going to be adding foreign language support. Not for like speed chat or anything. Speed chat plus, I mean. But the NPC dialogue, the street names, speed chat, like the normal speed chat, those will all be in, like, you can switch to a different language with them. And it would be cool if we could have districts, like, say we have the German language, and there's a lot of German players. It would be cool if we could have a German-only district. But I don't know, like, for Speed Chat Plus. But I'm not sure if that will ever happen. Was Jack Paz asking me in game if Sir Max was my original tune, and I think the very first tune I ever had was a tune named Cog Destroyer, and I guess I was say 4 then. I remember the very first time I played the game I couldn't read yet. I also remember, I've been through all those 3-day trials, I have 50 accounts, and I finally convinced my parents to get me membership for the first time. So, back when they had the 3-day trial, you couldn't go outside of Toontown Central if you weren't a member. So, we always try and run out there, maybe it will glitch or something, but no, you never make it through it. But it shows you those pictures that you see, the cog in a dark area with a piano on its back, Minnie's Melody Land and everything. So it gets you really excited. So when I got membership, sorry, Harv messaged me something. But, so when I got membership, I'm like, oh man, I gotta go to the trial, I gotta get more jelly beans and more gags so I can go out there because the cog is going to be really strong. So I go on the trolley, I'm all hyped up, like I'm going to get these gags, I'm going to run straight to Minnie's Melody Land, I'm going to get to this new area that I've never seen before. And then the game crashed, and I never opened it for like another year or so. So, it was a bad first experience. The membership was wasted for that month. Yeah. Is my mic bad right now? I've seen some people talking about it.
Is it too loud or too quiet?
Yeah,
because
they're saying
I hear it fine.
They're saying it's too loud.
Okay, I'll lower it from here. Okay, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that any better?
You'll have to wait until they hear it.
What will we do about cyberbullying? Like I said, our moderation's going to be pretty tough. And we're not going to be overly strict, like unnecessarily, but, I don't tolerate cyberbullying or anything, as should anyone. So, we'll handle it pretty seriously. And hopefully better than Disney could, since we're volunteers rather than workers just paid to do it. Hi, Mega Lucky Leaf. Yes, developers can use True Friends right now, but it doesn't actually work. It's just the blue name, and we can use the Whisper chat to talk to other True Friends in the area. That one reason that we don't allow speed chat plus whispering is back to the moderation. We know that we can't moderate it yet, since the report button doesn't actually work. I mean, we could make it work, it's just it's alpha. We haven't bothered with it yet. That's going to be something we do during beta. So we don't allow speed chat plus whispering just because we can't moderate it, not because it's not implemented necessarily. Will we remove greening? You know, like, the thing is, I've never heard about greening until owning Toonbook. I never experienced it in games, so maybe I was lucky, but I don't know. Apparently it's a bigger problem than I think. I mean, there can be ways. I don't think we can ever entirely stop it because it's just how the game works. I mean, there's always going to be people who can refuse to use a gag. But, you know, like, we could turn off pushing people on streets. If someone is pushed into something, it doesn't register. I don't know. I mean, I do want to stop it, but I don't really have ideas on how to. If you guys have ideas, then feel free to tell us. Will alpha and beta testers have any advantages? No. But, like, as soon as beta finishes, all of the tunes will be reset, at least. But we would reset your gags and your laugh points and all of that. How are you going to make a lucky leaf? You can still play Toontown Rewritten even if you're banned on Toonbook. Just please behave. The same people who moderate Toonbook will probably be moderators on Toontown Rewritten, so, you know, be nice. Everyone's human. I don't think that Pete from UMass will have a playground. Or at least we haven't decided on one for him. I really liked Pete. I mean, I guess he isn't meant to be liked, but I mean, just even as a villain, he's not a very good villain. He's just kind of a jerk. How old was I when I learned to use a computer? Like I said, I was 4 when I started Toontown for the first time, and I didn't stick with it very long. I've been on and off over the years. The highest I ever got tuned to was 118. I'd play for a year, stop for a year, play for a year, and so on. But anyway, back to the question. I mean, like, actually knowing what a computer was and, like, moving arrows and stuff, I guess 4 or 5. But, you know, if you mean programming and everything, I'd say, I don't even know. Probably within the past 5 or 6 years I've been into programming, like websites and now Python and everything. I'm not the best programmer though, as you can ask McQuack and he'll tell you that. The emotions and trap outfits, I'm not sure if you'll have to wait for them. I mean, I get they want to reward long-time players, but no, emotions, rewarding them with emotions seem pointless. It should be with something better for long-time players. And then there's emotions to everyone, or animations as we now call them. Will your cats be around? And I assume that means other clans too. Yeah, sure. You can roleplay, you can have your clans. As long as you don't start drama, then, you know. Will there be as many hackers as Toontown? Of course not. As I said earlier, the Python injection has been entirely fixed. That was in our first update, one of our first priorities. So we won't be seeing Python injection again, but I mean, of course, I'm not saying that the game's entirely hack-free. Sure, people may find ways around it in the future, and we'll do our best to patch those as soon as they come up. But as of right now, there aren't any hackers in the game. Especially, like, the really bad ones that we saw when the game was closing. The characters from Disney movies get playgrounds. You usually give the bird to, like, Elsa and Anna. I'm okay with that. I don't think they'd fit in, though. Kind of weird with a bunch of animals. We give Cinderella a playground. We're not too talks to animals. That's not Cinderella, that's Snow White. Just ignore me. Is there any interest in adding the chairman? Yeah, as I said earlier, I mean, not like a chairman battle, at least not for a very long time, but the chairman is part of the Toontown storyline. We'll be seeing him relatively soon. Not actually seeing him, but we know, seeing him come into the storyline. Relatively soon. That doesn't mean cogs are coming out tomorrow. No, I'm not Slate's brother. I'm Sir Max. Will we add a new storyline? Yeah, we will. Will there be a limit of how many people can enter at the same time? I remember this earlier, I forgot to answer it. When the game first comes out as like the public release, we're obviously going to have to put some restriction on it because we don't want the servers to crash, so we'll probably have like a queue to get in. So, because we can't honestly expect how many people will actually try to join. So, what we'll do will be, like you get your launcher, you go in the game, and then say there's 30,000 people on that. I doubt there will be, but let's just say that as a number. And there are 500 people who are trying to log in while those 30,000 are online. So they would be put into a queue if 30,000 were the limit. And they'd have to wait until someone else left that they could join. And this is just talking about for the public release when there's a big rush of people trying to play at once. And then we'll, of course, buy servers and upgrade as needed. It's just to make sure our servers at the time don't break under pressure. Panda 3D's limitations compared to other engines. Honestly, I don't know enough about that question to give an entirely accurate answer. But I mean, obviously Panda is pretty old, and it originated I'm pretty sure, I might be wrong on this, but it originated as for theme parks, because, VR Studio, they were working on rides at Disneyland, and they decided to try and kind of convert that to a computer experience rather than park experiences. And so they made Toontown with it. But Panda 3D was originally designed as for theme parks, not necessarily consumer computers. And has gotten a lot better through the years, but it's obviously behind compared to other engines. It does have a lot of untapped potential, but, it's behind. And we do modify Panda on our own. Some of the developers contribute to Panda and are friends with the people over there, and we make our own modifications to try and help it out to better suit Toontown Rewritten, as well as any other game if it's a change that we can make for it. Shockley is one of the main ones who does that, and Hamlet. The knock-knock jokes. No, I do not still care about the knock-knock jokes. To this very day, I still receive knock-knock jokes from people wanting alpha keys, and please don't send me knock-knock jokes. I had to read 5,000 of those per day. It was pretty bad. Equi Peaches. Is Slappy related to the McDucks in any way? No, Slappy's last name is Quackintosh. He isn't related to Scrooge McDuck. No, we won't remove the hydrants. Will Muddy Paws become a co-owner? Well, I mean, like I said earlier, they aren't the owners, really. We all work on our own. But no, neither will I or anyone else. We start making not that much into videos anymore. I mean, I know I used to do a lot of them, but I'm distracted with this now, actually, running the game. So if I did videos, it would be videos promoting the game itself, either like little cartoons to keep you guys occupied, like custom animations and everything, or I don't even know, trailers and such, but nothing like the Fireburning video that I did before. It would be better than that. Right now, there's no limit on the amount of people in a district. For the election, we set up a system so after a district turns red when there are 30 people in it, and then friends can teleport into that district until there are 40 people in it. Once there are 40 people in that red district, it's considered absolutely full to the max, and no friends or anyone can teleport into it until someone leaves it. So that way we allow friends to get into full districts, but only after a certain buffer limit. So that way the district never gets like infinitely full, like Muddy River would. And that will probably stick around during beta and the public release. That was something that we were going to test during the election, and we will be testing during the election. Will we have Operation Storm Cellbot and other related events? I'm not sure. When Cellbot comes out on beta, that would be a good time to do Storm Cellbot. I'm not sure if we will or not, because like not everyone would be up on their tasks yet. So that way we can test the VP without having tasks all the way up there. We'll see how it goes, but I have a few ideas for it, but right now, no. So I was reading the IRC. How many people are in Toontown Rewritten currently? It depends if you mean like developers, alpha testers, or people currently in game. So let's see. There are currently 26 people in game. There are 300 alpha testers, and there are somewhere around 20 team members. So there's the stats for all of that, whichever one you're asking about. And I'm going to make an undercover tune, yeah. Aside from our Toon Trooper tunes, everyone will have an anonymous account that we just play on normally without people following us around and everything. Because as much as we like to be with the rats, we don't like them out. So the Toon Troopers will be not quite as rare of a sighting as they were in Toontown Online, but you know, it would be something special to see a Toon Trooper running around. And yeah, like we will have anonymous accounts that we just play the game normally on. So you might be doing a BP with us or something and you wouldn't even know, because I wouldn't be Sir Max, I'd be, I don't know, some duck or other species. I think it would be a duck. So if you see a duck, it might be me. Slate, does my mic sound good to you?
Sorry, what?
Does my mic sound okay to you?
Yeah, it is.
They say it's a little bit scratchy on the stream.
No, it's actually kind of good. I understand pretty much everything you say.
Okay. It's probably just behind you. Plod Puppy, what? You've waited 2 hours and you've gotten no info. Can you just like spam your question a lot? Because I haven't seen your question, but if you keep spamming it, I'm looking for your name now. So feel free to. And some questions I haven't answered because I answered them earlier in the stream. the tunes be able to use all 7 gag tracks? No. The lengthy cutscenes for street objects. I think I answered that one earlier. Currently, there's nothing going to be done to them, but I will see what I can do to make them better. I think the idea for them is cool. That, Toontown's a big living world, like old cartoons used to be. They're not called bosses yet, Tom Millington. And, yeah, people still say that my mic sounds bad. Like, they describe it as a cog, like it's scratchy or something. I don't know if that's the stream or what.
It must be the stream because I hear you well, but I've only heard one people say that, so one person say that, so I don't know if it's just this person or everyone.
Okay. No, Disney's never contacted us.
Oh, it is way too loud, okay. Okay, changed it again. I don't know, I just keep lowering it and it's still getting high. And I keep hearing you the same, so I have no idea why.
Like I said earlier, the question is, are we planning on making new areas or removing any? There are some plans for new areas, but nothing set in stone yet. And I don't plan on removing any areas. The Toontown Spoofer can still be, things like it. The Toontown Spoofer is outdated now, but the content pack part of it, I wouldn't mind if people used. But things like Joe Fish and Gardner Floor wouldn't be allowed. Because we'd rather make those things more fun than make them boring enough that you want to use a bot for it. Will dancing buildings be in game? They're in the phase files. Yeah, I have seen them in the phase files, but I don't think they'll be in game. At least not that one.
Okay, turn it down again. Hold on. Okay, I did another
stream to see how it sounds. Will there be higher level cogs for a bigger challenge? Maybe. Not anytime soon, of course, but Disney kind of cheated with the version higher level cog without actually increasing the level. So, which I mean, it was smart. but I think that there could be better ways to do it and improve how hard the game is later on, of course. Will beta be cog free? No. Yeah, like the cogs will be in beta. Will we allow lowercase names? You know, because I am for the idea of rewriting your tune. I like that the community's doing that. Maybe. We might allow lowercase names in the future. I mean, I think it was good for them to enforce capitals, because that's a name, not a username. But I don't want people losing their identity in a sense. We'll see how it goes. I think I will be having to wrap it up soon, so I'm going to need to go to dinner and then continue some work on the election. So just any questions that you have left, feel free to spam, but please make them good questions. Selfie addiction rehab's going fairly well. I only took 542 selfies this week, so it's getting there. Why did you get the name Toontown Rewritten? You know, it actually came from a friend of mine. Like, I was on the phone explaining the story to him. And how we were doing this, but how we didn't have a name yet. It was, at the time, it was still called Toon Pulse as the working title. And so she just came out and said, how about Toontown Rewritten, which actually ended up being a perfect name for it, considering everything else. So I didn't come up with it, but a friend did, and I recommended it to the rest of the team. And I think it was like either Toontown Rewritten or Toontown Redrawn is what came between, and Rewritten ended up winning, like in a vote that we had on the IRC. I like the name. What will the story be like? You'll just have to wait and see for that. How is Rainbow doing? She got a key? Yeah, she did. I was actually emailing Rainbow, TTS BB1, I think is referring to later, of the Leaf Clan from a while ago. But I was emailing her the other day, just talking, because she was a good friend of mine a while ago on Toontown. So, yeah, she got a key. I gave her one of my personal ones that the developers get. And she's been on fairly often. I see her on every few days. So if you do see her in game, if you're an alpha tester, be sure to say hi. I'm just scrolling up through questions now. A lot of these I have answered before, so if you missed the beginning of the stream and your question wasn't answered, you might want to go back and skim through it, because I might have answered it already. Are we planning on making advertisements for Toontown Rewritten? Trailers and such on YouTube, I guess. Through Google Ads, it might be relatively easy to get a few ad campaigns going. But no, we won't be doing like TV ads or anything. And that's something I should talk about later too, because we don't want to anger Disney at all. This is obviously their game, it's not ours. We're just running it because they didn't want to anymore. So we want to make sure that we're doing what they think is right for it, and we don't want to give them any bad reputation or anything. And they don't deserve bad reputation. It's okay to close a game if it's not making money anymore. But so there's just a lot of things we take into account of, like, we have to think about, this isn't our game, it's just a game that we're running. How would the owners of the game feel if we did so-and-so? We're working on being able to buy new houses. We're not working on it, but like I said, there's a lot of ideas that we'd like to do. New houses would be cool. I do have to go now, so let me just look for a few questions before I go. Are we planning to revamp the Toon News for the Amused? Yes. I think with beta we'll see the first issue of that, and it will be called the Toontown Times as a homage to the original Toontown website. Are we able to make the game open beta? Sadly not, but the reasoning for that is, in a sense we are doing an open beta, but we're just calling it the public release. If we're confident enough to release the game to everyone, then we're not going to call it an open beta, we're just going to say that this is the release of the game. So if you want to consider the public release an open beta, then sure. But, I mean, if we did do an open beta, it would only prolong the public release. The maximum laugh when the game first starts will be 137. The Greys become sort of canon because of the Professor Prepostera post. There's a lot of silly ways to get into it, like the wall in Donald's dock. I don't see why that couldn't have been fixed, or why they never fixed it. I mean, some ways to get into it, like in estates, are fun, but other ways just look unprofessional. So some, I get, the gray will always be there because it's the game engine, but how easy it is to get there, we'll have to decide if we patch it up or not. And I'm not sure when the next Toontown Rewritten update will be, because we're still discussing the election and everything.
Something happened to your microphone right now.
I will keep you guys updated as I know things, but like I said, I don't want to make any empty promises or overhype it.
Did you change something on your microphone now?
I don't think so.
Because it started to make noises.
Well, anyway, I do need to go now. So, hang on 1 second. Alright, one more question. Let me find a good one. There's a lot of questions I've answered before. Okay, I'll answer the golf one since that's popular. We can't fix golf in alpha because it's going to require a complete rewrite most likely. But in beta we will be rewriting golf as well as parties, which we didn't do too well in the first place. And I feel like there's something else too, but I'm forgetting it right now. Catalogs might come in alpha, probably in beta. A lot of kind of fluff features like golf and parties and catalogs will probably come in beta just because we want to get to the cogs now and the battle systems. So, but that's all after the election. We'll see how it goes then. But with that, I'm going to head off. If you have any questions, you can always contact me through MMO Central Forums, Reddit, the Toontown Rewritten support, or our IRC. Or comments, I do read those too. Anything else, Slate, before I go? No problem. I figured it's the least that we can do from all the delays in the election. I wanted to clear up that and everything else. And thanks for letting me talk throughout all of your stream. Alright, I'll see you guys later.
Okay, sorry about that. Something went really wrong with my Skype. I hope it's not one of you guys sending me a virus or something. So, in case you didn't hear me, I was just saying thank you guys for joining. I hope you got answers to all of your questions, and I hope you enjoyed. I sure did, because I didn't have to talk much, which is pretty cool for me. I could rest. So thank you guys for joining us. I'm sorry if it ended up that you didn't get an answer to your question. Hopefully you will get another option to ask your questions in the future. And anyway, if you have any problems, you can always contact our support email, which is always available. So I'm gonna finish now, and I just want to thank you one last time for joining, and thank Joey for taking the time to join me today and answer your questions. And I'll see you next time, hopefully on the election, but I'm not sure, so either way I'll see you next time I stream. So bye guys.